Hi Rob, how are you?
Hello there. Can you see me?
Hmm?
Is everything
Yeah,
good? Do I look blurry?
everything's good. Everything's good.
All right, hold on. Just let me go to my car.
All right, sounds good.
Ugh. All right, where are we at? See if I can set this up. That is good. I'll just hold it. I'll just hold it. So what's going on? What's going on?
All right, let's get the first question in. What's your origin story and what got you into fighting?
All right, the story is I remember I was 13 years old. I think my first fight I seen, correct me if I'm wrong, I could have been a little bit older, 15, 14, but I seen Matt Hughes versus GSP, and it was the second fight. GSP head kicked Matt Hughes, and I was a little bit jealous of GSP because he was that guy. He had this aura around him, like, and I just knew with just watching the fight, just watching it, that this was the guy. This was the guy that was going to be basically the face of MMA.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be like that guy. I knew that was the guy, and I wanted to be like that. And like my whole life made sense. Like everything just clicked for me. I had this new motivation, discipline. I knew that this is what I wanted to do, and I didn't change my mind at all. Like from all going to middle school, going to high school, and then I started fighting at age 19.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned when I finally got a job, I just had this I need it. I want to go. I need to go to the gym, all these things. And I started my first day at the gym at 19.
Mm-hmm. So GSP got you into fighting?
That fight, not GSP,
that fight?
but that fight. And it just happened to be GSP that just got me just boom.
Uh-huh. Kickstarted you?
Yeah.
Where did you get your nickname from?
The green light. The green light it started because my coach, Joe Stevenson, legend, UFC legend, MMA legend, well respected in not just the fighters, but the commission. The commission respects them. Well, at least the California one. And when there will be new guys coming to the gym, usually the new guys that are up to no good, they're like, you can tell they're like a little bit gangsters. Like they come to the school for the wrong reason. And he will use me as the enforcer, like Robert, go, go humble him, go over there and humble him. And I would do that. And then on top of that, he would have, there'll be MMA fighters going to Vegas. And like, some high level fighters going to Vegas, some are in the UFC, some are not. I forgot. But he would put like, all right, go with them, show them who you are, show them what this gym's about. So he would just give me that green light, like just go, let them know. And that's how that nickname came about.
That's got to be one of the cool stories behind a nickname.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people just name themselves and it's like, nah, it's just my coach just really he used me as the enforcer.
Mm-hmm. So how's it like having Joe Stevenson as a coach?
To be honest, I didn't, in the beginning, I didn't know how, like, I just didn't know. I stepped into the gym. I knew who he was. I was starstruck when I first seen him. I was like, oh my gosh. But I didn't know of the blessings that were going to come my way. I thought that, he just gave me the IQ of the fight game. He gives me all that IQ. Not a lot of coaches. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about who's your coaches. I've seen so many talented kids, but because they have not good coaches around them, they never reach their full potential, or they never have on the business side, the opportunity to go to these shows and become something of themselves. And not just like Joe just gave me the IQ and he gave me the silver spoon. And he's the reason why I'm fighting at Cage Warriors. he's really good friends with Graham Boylan, the
Yes.
president of Cage Warriors, and he invited me for a lunch date, and I just happened to go with him that one time, and the rest is history. Like now I'm fighting, for Cage Warriors, and it's all thanks to him. He providing those opportunities and giving me the skill set to. It just goes hand in hand together. It's been awesome.
I know you have a pretty big following on TikTok. So how did you amass your big page, and like what inspired you to start making that content?
Honestly, it's because on Instagram I'll make videos and stuff, but it just wasn't catching fire the way I wanted it to catch fire. I feel like I was throwing away some really good content on Instagram. At the time I was barely growing. And TikTok, I just seen so many people just blowing up on TikTok for no reason, just doing the dumbest things. People are not even good. Like, I see people that could make a boxing video get like 1 million hits, or like are hitting bags or hitting mitts. And then when you go on their pages, they're not even real fighters. They don't even have a real fight. Like they're like not even amateurs. So seeing that like made me like, dude, I'm a real fighter here. I could do this. I'm a real fighter. So I started posting, videos of me and my mom, just me, my life. And the ones that caught fire was me and my mom, me and my wife, and fighting. So I just used those three communities, mother and son, funny things, me and my wife, marriage things, and fighting. So I have 3 communities that follow me through that. My TikTok phone. Just using those 3. That's how I gained that much followers. So, usually when I have videos of me and my mom, like my MMA community don't like that. Like I know who's liking what stuff, and videos of me and am I cutting off?
Yeah,
Am I
a little
cutting
bit.
off?
It's a little choppy.
Is it bad? Do I need to go to a better spot?
Yeah, that would be great if you could.
My bad. I'm trying to get doing. Hold on. I think the best thing this is better right here?
Yeah, it's definitely better.
All right. So my bad about that earlier.
It's all good.
I should have been at a better spot. We scheduled this last week. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
But yeah, just I got followers that follow me from. I got my mom's followers, my mom's followers, me and my wife, that following, and then me and obviously my fight content.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I got 3 fan bases in
Yeah,
that.
it's pretty smart. All right, my next question is, I know you have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You love getting those heel hooks in, but you also knock people out. So which game of the spectrum do you like better, the striking or the grappling?
I knock people out, you said?
Yeah, which part do you like better, the striking or the grappling?
Oh, okay, yeah. The parts that I like better is honestly, for me personally, I like my submission games. My submission game is, I think I'm pretty top level submissions. My knockouts, like my last knockout that I got, it was a TKO, but I wanted something more. I wanted something to I just want those where they just look like a statue and then they fall down. But it's all right. It happens. I like my submission game because it shows my IQ. It shows that I'm very, very dangerous. And another thing about it is Charles Oliveira. I like Charles Oliveira because he's a good striker. He's dangerous striking, and he's dangerous when the moment you hit the ground. And that's where I want my MMA game to be built around. Like right now, you got this Islam Charles Oliveira thing going on right now, and they're about to fight. And honestly, I believe that Charles Oliveira has the edge because he's more grappler, jiu-jitsu based versus Makhachev is wrestling, ground and pound based.
Yeah.
So I feel like Charles Oliveira is going to pose some really threats and is going to scare Islam. And that's where I want to base my MMA game around like that, like where people are afraid of my ground game.
Yeah. So you think Charles how do you think he's gonna win in that fight?
What happened? Sorry, it's
How do
just
you
I can't get the speaker here. I need to hold on. How do I raise the? All right, can you say it? Talk now.
how do you think Charles Oliveira is gonna finish that fight?
Okay, I can hear you perfect now. Sorry, Doc.
Okay, good.
How do I think Charles Oliveira? What?
Is gonna win that fight?
I think he's gonna win by TKOing Islam.
On
I
the
feel
feet?
like I feel like Islam is gonna get thrown in some really deep waters with his submission game, like with Charles' submission game, and he's gonna be afraid to go to the ground. And I think that Oliveira is gonna be a lot of clinch work against the cage, and I think Oliveira it flourishes in that clinch work. I think that he's gonna throw knees down the middle, throw elbows, and Islam is not gonna be comfortable in that when he's taking him to the cage.
Would you say Charles Oliveira is your favorite UFC fighter?
Yes, right now, yes. I don't know how he's ranked. I don't know how he's ranked above under Israel, because I know Israel is like good, but the thing with Israel is he's never, if he's better than you, he's not gonna shoot for the finish. If he's better, he's cool sitting in the back, not doing anything, and just winning the fight, coasting that way. While it's Charles Oliveira, he's going for the finish. He's constantly putting himself in danger to get the finish. And even though he gets dropped, he comes back, he finds a way.
He comes back.
So like I feel like I don't know how Israel is on above him. I just don't get that.
Yeah, I see your point. Coming back to you though, you're on a 4-fight win streak with 3 of them ending in finishes. Do you expect to keep that going?
Yes, I want to keep that going. I'm trying to keep that streak going. 2 first-round finishes. I got a heel hook. I don't know if you've seen that heel hook, but that was like a really great heel hook that I set up. We was practicing it all week. Another thing too, like Dominic Cruz was watching me warm up in the back room as I was hitting this, like warming up with the heel hook, the setup. And another thing, that's like one of my growing up in high school, like I used to watch Dominic Cruz, like literally watch him. He had the UFC belt, he was the 135-pound champion. WC just clinked with the UFC. And this dude is watching me warm up. Like this is Dominic Cruz. And to be able to hit it right in front of him, and then I go to the back, and then he's giving me compliments, like saying like I've never seen someone warm up in the back and then they actually hit it in the fight. Like that for me, I was like jizzing in my pants when he said that. So like it's just cool. But yeah, I want to keep that fight weeks, the first round finishes. I'm trying to keep that streak going. We don't get paid for, extra rounds. We could get it in, get it done with the first round, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, cool. Hopefully my opponent's good enough and I could extend it for another minute within that round. Hopefully he's good enough, we could do that. But yeah, I'm gunning for that.
Where do you see yourself in the next couple of years?
Hey, my bad about the earlier. Like it was all choppy. I know it's hard to work with me. Now it's good. So now I can give you the interview that I want to give. But I see myself fighting in a few years, probably in the top 10 in the UFC. I've trained alongside a bunch of MMA fighters that are like in the UFC. Like I train alongside Juan Archuleta. I train alongside Jalen Turner. I trained alongside of like Cub Swanson, TJ Dillashaw. And I feel like my skills are there. I've been in I sparred with Holly Holm before. In Greg Jackson's camp at the time. This was like in 2017 when she was like she was the girls. And I got a story to say about her. She ain't the preacher's daughter. She is a mean lady. I asked for a picture and she didn't want to give me the picture. She just looked at me up and down and carried on back to her conversation. And I just never felt like a little pest. Like I felt like, I can't believe she did this to me. She scarred me. But so I've been around a long time. Just barely getting my shot now, barely getting I'm barely getting noticed. I'm barely doing all these things, and I feel like I'm gonna be fighting the top 10 in a couple of years. And right now I just barely turned 29, and I've been ready. Now I just got the opportunity to, thanks to Cage Wars, showcase it all. So yeah, top 10. Hopefully fighting for the belt. Obviously, it's gonna take longer than a couple of years or whenever they feel ready, but yeah, top 10, featherweight or bantamweight.
Who do you look up to in your career?
Damn, that's a good one. I look up to people that do things well. People that don't take damage while they win. But obviously putting in that, like, shoot, that's a good one, because it could be Andrew Tate. There it is.
Andrew Tate.
I look up to I'm playing. They're about to be like, oh, this guy's a sexist. Nah, I'm playing. But I just, honestly, I don't really look up to anyone. The people that I can say that have big influence in my career is probably my wife and my coach Joe, and yeah, just my wife and my coach. They push me. They help me see things. Like for me and my wife, I remember back in 2017, back when when I was younger, like in my heart, I felt like I was good, but I didn't feel like I was UFC ready.
Mhm.
But she was telling people about me. She would tell like our friends, and she would give me this extra credit that I didn't feel like I deserved. So I had to live up to that because she was bragging about me. So I had to live up to these expectations that she was putting on me. So she helped me realize, it clicked in my brain, like, wait, I am this guy. I need to be this guy. I'm gonna be this guy because of her. She put that in me like that. I couldn't let her down.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
you can let yourself down, but when you're letting other people down that brag about you, that sucks even worse.
Mhm.
So I won't say I don't look up to anyone, but just people that have a big influence in me was my wife and obviously my coach, Joe Stevenson.
Yeah. What would you say the hardest thing about weight cutting is for you?
Dude, like, thankfully, I'm fighting at 145 right now. Hopefully, with the right nutritionist, and right strength and conditioning coach, I could make eventually 135s. But the hardest thing about weight cutting is, like, these last 2 times I cut weight, I did it by myself. Thankfully, it was only like 8 pounds, but that's hard. 8 pounds for me is hard already. Like some people have like a superpower. Like some people got knockout pins, they can knock people out. Some people got fast or quick. Some people got IQ. Well, there's other people's athletic ability. They could cut weight. They could do like 20 pounds. And that for me is hard to do. I don't know. Everything about it is hard. It never gets easy. Just one thing I don't like is like when you're hungry and then on top of that you get, like, when you're cutting weight, you just, like, your body just forgets about hunger and it just dives in straight to thirsty. You're just thirsty all the time. Thirsty. Like I remember one time I was crying in the weight room, and no tears were coming out.
Yeah.
People thought I was faking it because I was so dehydrated I couldn't even cry tears. But I was hurting so bad to the point where, like, I was crawling to the scale butt naked. Didn't even care if my coach was in the room. I'm crawling to the scale because I can't even muster up the energy to walk to it. And yeah, weight cutting is hard, man. Everything about it is hard.
What do you walk around at?
Right now, I'm walking around 164 because I've been active. So it's real easy to make the 145-pound cut. But before COVID happened, after COVID happened, like I was walking around like 180 because I couldn't train. Obviously you're at home stressy and you can't really do much. So this COVID era really, it took a while for my body to come back to how it is right now and balance itself out. because even after, I don't know if you caught COVID, but I caught COVID, but I felt like I was gonna die. Like I couldn't even hold a conversation for this long because I would be like losing because my lungs couldn't support the whole sentence.
Mhm.
So, and even after when I got better from COVID, it even took like 3 extra months to feel good, my lungs to function properly, because I'll hit hard runs and I'll be breathing heavy. I'll feel like I'm having a heart attack because my lungs still wasn't. So, you know, right now 164.
Mhm.
So I just a cool 19-pound cut, 18-pound cut. Within like right now, I'm about to fight September 23rd for Cage Warriors.
Yeah.
And
the one in San Diego? Again?
yes, the one in San Diego. And it's it should be an easy cut. Should be. We'll see what happens.
My last question for you is, what were you gonna say?
Oh, what's the name? It should be a good weight cut. It should, like, you know, I don't know if you ever been around you ever seen a Cage Warriors fight? Have you ever been to
In
Cage
real
Warriors
life,
fight?
no. I've only been to one UFC fight.
One UFC, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I know. I seen you taking pictures with Patty Patty Pimblett.
Oh yeah, that was at a meetup.
Yeah, like that. That's cool, man. I would like to try. I'm gonna have to hit up my manager. We share the same manager, so I'm gonna have to hit him up. Like, hey, hook us up. I need to get some training with him.
Yeah.
Because like one thing is seeing them, but when you're in the room training with them, that's a whole different ballgame. And I just want to see where I'm at with Patty, honestly. I know Patty got some good grappling skills, so I got to see. You know, I'm trying to test the waters.
Mhm. All right, my last question for you is, do you still get as nervous fighting now as you did in your debut fight?
No. I remember the hardest fight I've ever had, and I think that was the make it or break it fight for me, was I fought some guy from American Top Team in Oregon. And that fight, my coach, Joe Stevenson, was supposed to go, but they couldn't afford his plane ticket. Something happened with the plane tickets. So I ended up flying alone over there. Flying alone to Oregon with the matchmaker. And it was probably one of the hardest fights, yet most difficult. I'm in the hotel room alone. I'm in my head. I'm like sitting there talking to the mirror, talking to myself like, you're a monster. You're gonna kill this. I'm like hyping my own self up. I had to ask like for a corner. I didn't even have a corner. Like no one was there, not even family, nothing. It was just me by myself, solo doloing it. And that moment, just being there alone, asking, like, I'm gonna have to take an advice in mid corner, like in between rounds from a guy I don't even know. And that, like, just all of that, the whole thing. And that was honestly one of my toughest fights I've ever had in my entire life. That fight, I had to dig deep. That fight, I ended up fighting at 150. He ended up cutting to 150. He couldn't make the 145-pound mark. And it was a war. Like, we was going back. Like, I looked, like, people thought I lost. Like, it was just a war. And just
you found yourself
that,
in there.
Huh?
You found yourself in there, though.
Exactly. I found myself spiritually, mentally, everything in that fight. I learned that was honestly, for me, like these fights of Cage Warriors, like they mean something, obviously, but the other one for me spiritually, and that one meant something to me. Like that one, I came like back to the hotel limping, like I'm a winner. I'm a winner, because I had to dig deep. But after dealing with that, nothing. I do get a little bit nervous, but it doesn't bother me as much as my first fight. It was bad. I was singing, like I was getting my hand wraps in my first fight, and I'm singing. I was singing so bad. The hand wrap guy was like, "Hey, can you like tone it down? Like I'm trying to do your raps. You're kind of messing with me." And I'm just like, "I'm sorry, bro. It's my first fight." So yeah, man, that's that whole thing right there with the Oregon just made everything easy for me. So yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, no, yeah. Thank you for having me too, man. And another thing too, like, hey, for all the people that are watching, like, remember the name is Roberto Greenlight Hernandez. I'm coming for that 145-pound, lineup at the top 10 UFC, 135 as well. Just know that I'm coming. So protect your legs, protect your chins, because I'm coming.
Let's go. Okay, we're gonna see you in the UFC very, very soon. Thank you very much for
Yes,
coming
sir.
on.
All right, thank you. All right, yeah.